platforming is proving to still have uncharted waters, and Demon Tide's developer Fabraz is contributing in a major way. On top of being tasked with the development of the return of Bubsy with Bubsy 4D, Fabraz has also been developing a sequel to their own 2021 original title, Demon Turf. Demon Turf came with a bit of grit and was very stylized. The same has been done with Demon Tides. It is refreshingly new with a fully 3D art style. With the style comes plenty of substance as well, including playstyles for both casual and hardcore platforming gamers. Hi, I'm Joseph Shay with Smash Jump, and this is my review of Demon Tides. Demon Tides expands on the series' previous title by committing fully to 3D. Both the environment and the playable character Beebs in all of her forms are 3D modeled, making the platforming even more comprehensible for everybody. Still, there is an option to play as Beebs in her Demon Turf 2.5D form for those who clicked with the style and mechanics of the first game. While the 3D models have plenty of clipping and the animations can be stiff and unconvincing, none of it gets in the way of the style nor the substance of the game in any way. The cel-shaded art style and world design give the game plenty of identity on its own that's unlikely to get it mixed up with other games in anybody's mind. That isn't to say that Demon Tides doesn't wear its influences on its sleeve. The open water adventure of The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, the difficult bonus levels of Super Mario Sunshine, level design reminiscent of Super Mario Galaxy, it's all evident, but blends together in a very inspired way with plenty of original content to give it a very unique identity. In fact, identity defines the game. Similar to the art style, the dialogue and narrative are at most times very whimsical. Characters have very specially attributed personalities, and Beebs being a witty and sarcastic character ensures that none of the dialogue is ever stale. This does unfortunately result in moments that are meant to be serious falling flat, due to the tonal shift being very uncommon. Most of the game being very silly despite stakes makes the important story beats feel less impactful. It's all about the vibes on the open seas. Demon Tides is great at holding on to its core style while still introducing new locations and settings from beginning to end. It is rare that locations ever feel too small, resulting in frequent refreshes of mood, or as the protagonists of the game would say, vibes. The soundtrack contributes heavily to those vibes, always keeping it groovy, both with fresh new tracks, most of which never overstay their welcome or repeat too often, and remixed versions of tracks to match the new setting while performing the same adventuring actions. It's a soundtrack that many players may not keep confined to the game, but also take on the go with them if and when the soundtrack becomes available. The platforming systems of Demon Tides are slick, really slick. Once you get the hang of zooming around in snake form, doing quick turns for aerial somersaults and launching yourself through the air, there's little you won't be able to accomplish. With Beebs' multiple forms, there are many combinations of jumps, rolls, dashes, and flings to get through challenges with. There are even modifiers to help expand the function of Beebs' wide moveset. Early on, the game tempers its difficulty in most areas due to the first section of the game being explorable in any order or fashion the player chooses. Most players will definitely be concerned about the pace at which the game will develop, and if it will present any further challenges. To answer in short, there will be plenty. The boss fights and secret levels are two pieces of the game that give you a sneak peek early on as to what kind of creativity and difficulty will be brought to the rest of the game. Thankfully, the creativity and platforming challenges and level design are enough to carry the early portion of the game, even if it starts a bit slow and simple. A returning mechanic from Demon Turf that players of the game as well as new players will appreciate is the checkpoint marker. The player has the power to set a checkpoint anywhere, barring specific times and places, to return to by simply holding a button. This mechanic takes away much of the monotony of platformers and the trial-by-fire gameplay. The game is packed with plenty of content and clearly doesn't aim to waste your time by requiring huge amounts of commitment to retry difficult challenges. Still, there are optional challenges that don't allow you to place checkpoints to really ramp up the difficulty. There are plenty of elements throughout the runtime of the game to change things up and keep the gameplay fresh. Even so, the core mechanics are always reliable and important. Casual players will find themselves getting better over time with a basic set of moves. The platforming veterans, on the other hand, will have a lot of functional mechanics to work with. Various rewards for mission and side mission completion are obtainable, from useful items like talismans that give power-ups or change moves, to costumes to add a little personalization to the already stylish game. Level completion is marked by both items, Demon Tides' currency, and treasure chest collection. Some customization items and talismans can only be acquired by finding them in treasure chests or as rewards for completing challenges, while others can be bought with the items on the ship that serve as the hub. The final type of collectible is more crucial to the story and game progression. Gears are collected in similar ways to talismans and customization items, but usually at the end of an island or level, meaning a certain number of locations need to be completed before progression can be made in the game. The interconnectivity elements of Demon Tides make sure you never feel too alone. Coming across other players' graffiti across the world can range from funny to extremely helpful. Other players can help you find secret treasure chests or even levels. Not all of the multiplayer elements are so friendly and beneficial though. Speedrun modes offer a chance for platforming pros to really push their skills and mastery of the game. Global leaderboards give high-level players chances to claim top spots on each individual island. One mode allows you to customize your talismans, letting players get creative with the skills they use to complete the levels. The other version of the speedrun mode gives no talisman assist to the players and demands that they use only Beeb's standard skills and moves to complete the level. This split between competitive playstyles will ensure players have many ways to play even in the postgame. As a significant improvement on an already fun game, Demon Tides is going to land right on target for players of all skill levels. It brings so much to get attached to, and so much to want to return for, session after session. There are some silly coding errors, such as the prompt to open a chest saying view graffiti, or a character having a dialogue box suggesting you finished a challenge before you've even begun, but these are all such small and insignificant blemishes on such a large canvas. The most important part of video games, the fun, is more than intact. Don't let the long introduction push you towards second thoughts. Have faith in the process and cling to the many positives that excite you, and the best parts of the game will begin to reveal themselves to you. Platforming is one of the longest running genres in video games, and to innovate and excite with new or polished elements is a feat in itself. Demon Tide's unique, memorable style and its abundance of gameplay elements to explore and experiment with will bury itself in many hearts.